I'm going to show you how to use sidechain compressors to create something that sounds like this. So to start, we've got a simple pad, bass, and kick track. Let's listen to how that sounds without the compressors. Okay, pretty cool. Now let's add the sidechain compressors and make this a little bit more interesting. So to start, we'll go to the bass track and add an instance of Fruity Limiter and set that to compression. Now you'll notice that if we try to adjust the sidechain parameter, nothing happens. That's because we don't have anything yet routed to the sidechain input of the bass. So let's select the kick track, and then on the bottom of the bass track, let's left click this arrow and select sidechain to this track. Now if we go back to the limiter, you'll notice that we have an option. That one represents the first track that is routed to the bass's sidechain, in this case, the kick. So now let's listen and adjust the threshold and ratio parameters of the compressor until we hear the ducking. Cool, you hear that on the bass? You can see it right here. Every time the kick hits, the compressor ducks the bass. Let's do the same thing, but on the pad track, and we'll adjust a few more parameters. So again, on the pad channel, we'll add an instance of Fruity Limiter and set it to compression. And then we'll select the kick channel. And then on the pad channel, we'll right-click the little arrow and select sidechain to this track. We'll go back to the pad's compressor and select input 1. Let's do the same thing. We'll adjust a few parameters and listen to the pad as it ducks. Very cool. That cuts off a little bit fast, so I'm going to listen again and adjust the release parameter. Nice, I like that. So this is cool, but what if we only wanted the pad and the bass to duck every other beat instead of every beat as our kick does? In this case, let's add what I call a ghost kick. So we'll add a second copy of our kick sample. I'm going to call this ghost kick and make it white. Then I'm going to route it to a channel with Control L. Then I'm going to create another pattern called ghost kick. Make that the same color. And then in that pattern, in the playlist, we'll add a beat on 1 and 3. And then we'll paste that pattern into our playlist. Now we've got a problem. You'll notice that when we play this back, we can hear the ghost kick. We don't want that. By default, channels in FL Studio are all routed to the master channel. So in order to cut this, we'll select the ghost kick channel and then just click this arrow. Now when we play it back, we don't hear any sound. That's exactly what we want. So now let's route this ghost kick to the sidechain inputs of the bass and the pad. So we'll select the ghost kick channel and then right-click the arrow on the bass channel and select sidechain to this track. Now if we go to the bass's compressor, we'll notice that we have a second input on sidechain. That is the ghost kick. Now if we listen back, listen to the bass and how it ducks only when the ghost kick triggers the compressor. Let's do the same thing with the pad. So we'll select the ghost kick track, right-click the little arrow on the pad track, and select sidechain to this track. Now if we go to the pad's compressor, we can select number 2 on the sidechain input. Let's take a listen. And there you have it. If you want a really cool example of this technique used in a song, go check out my track Night Drifter. There are links in the description.